up on the grid as they wait for the lights to go out. The revs are building. Let's go racing.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, punters of all ages, we welcome you to Croatia for Wheel-to-Wheel Season 9, Round 7, Split 1. Tonight we're bringing you all the action in the Ferrari 455s at Dragon Trail Seaside, and with me in comms we have Viper's Fang. Welcome, Viper.
Hello everybody, welcome to Croatia. All the teams and independent runners have taken the 5-hour flight from France after a short break. Popped over to Croatia, to this beautiful seaside village. And
had to do their 7 days isolation in a beautiful
place.
That's
correct, yeah, that's it, yeah. I'm sure the Croatian government has their own COVID rules that were strictly adhered to.
Yeah, and on visuals tonight we have Hammy to the Bone. Welcome, Mr. Hammy.
Yeah, g'day boys. Great to be here. Good to be back.
So, Viper's Fang, we're seeing during practice this week at this track, not a lot of difference between soft and medium pace cars, and not a lot of difference between all the first and 13th runner. So we're going to see a lot of action tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, this track breeds carnage. Let's put it that way. It can be brutal. It makes for really tight racing. The tyre difference is not super great between the softs and the mediums, and the tyre degradation is pretty mild. So it just makes for a really competitive race. The third race tonight is going to be a longer race, and then tyre strategy will come into that. But these 2 9-lap sprints are flat out, no compromise, as fast as you can go, 9-lap sprint races.
Yeah, and that's what the action's all about in the first 2 races. So we're just kicking off qualifying now, and unfortunately one of our top level drivers, Pure Axel, who was meant to be here tonight, has not been able to make it. So with Pure Axel out of the running, that then leaves us with the perennial favourite in Apex, and of course Fixer Chris is up there. And Adam V. Who are you putting your money on tonight, Viper? Have you seen much of these guys in practice?
Yeah, haven't seen any. I've been in a few lobbies with KZ. He's been very quick. Apex is always quick. But it's all going to come down. It's all going to come down to who can stay clean and who can keep from dying in the famous death chicane.
The bus stop, yeah, look,
Yes.
that is a killer. So out on the track at the moment as we wait for them to come through the first timer, and we'll be able to get them in order. But showing Cloquet as first on track, and he's racing with Rusty's. However, now everything's normalised. So Ando still with Rusty's. He is a usual in split 1 and will be up for a good result tonight. The G-Man, second on track at the moment with Flat Out Racing. I think this is his second appearance in split 2 this season, and for those of you that were lucky enough to see his hot lap during the week, he gave out some really good tips on how to give pace.
Yeah, G's a very fast driver and deservedly made the move up to split 1. Been in a few practice lobbies with him this week, and he has been rapid. So it's going to be interesting.
And always happy to give tips, G-Man. Following him is our championship leader at the moment in Apex, who will actually be doing track guide at Bathurst for us, so that's a bit of a thrill. And then DJ Stefko in fourth on the track at the moment, and with that Weet-Bix livery. I'm not seeing any comments from Mrs. Stefko yet on YouTube, but she is a common attendee there. We then have Dale Teeks in that hot rod livery Ferrari. He's a perennial split one driver as well, and a debutant in split one all the way from Malaysia this week is Ace Rio. What have you seen from Ace in the weeks leading up to warrant his debut, Viper?
I haven't seen a lot of running from Ace this week. I think he's been keeping things quite close to the vest, but a champion in another league is definitely no slouch. So he's won championships in other racing leagues in Gran Turismo, and he's definitely made an impact in wheel to wheel since he's arrived late last season. So don't be surprised to see him very, very close to the front.
Yeah, I wasn't aware he'd won other championships, so good to see other guys coming into the lead, because as we know, the front runners in wheel to wheel are amongst the quickest in the world. Scooter 82 next on the track, and Scooter is a privateer this year. Started off in D League, I believe, but promoted to Split 1 pretty quickly.
Scooter's running
he's Rusty's. He's Rusty's.
Yeah.
Yes.
My teammate.
Yeah, he was a very cheap pickup for you guys, wasn't he? Very undervalued.
He is he was the scouting pickup of the draft, no doubt. So
yeah.
And has kicked off some quite heated discussions in the Discord chat in the last few weeks. So it's interesting.
Scooter and Cloakade boxing in Fixer Chris there. He's got past them now, but perhaps playing the team game there, helping each other out. But Fixer Chris has got past them. And Fixer Chris at the moment is second in our championship, so he'll be looking to make some moves on Apex this round.
Yeah, Fixer Chris is never a bad guy to get behind in a quali session, let's put it that way.
No, definitely not. Cloakade is always quick and very rarely steps out of Split 1. When he does, he'll seal club everyone in Split 2, so usually when I'm racing Split 2, I'm very happy for him to stay where he is.
Yeah, the guys in Split don't like it when he drops down, that's for sure.
And KZ is our final man on track, and KZ, once again, well, Split 1, you have to be pretty quick to be up there. So,
and a teammate of Chris's too, and I think a lot of those guys this year from Scooter Quadrifilio, I think that's how it's pronounced. Scuderia Quadrifilio. I think those guys have really benefited from having a guy like Chris on that brand new team. I think a lot of those guys are developing really well. So, it's definitely a big plus for those guys.
Yeah, well, Chris is another driver who's more than happy to share his expertise as well. So as we see the times start coming in now, a few drivers have pulled out. Obviously made a mistake through the bus stop section, I would imagine, Apex being one of them, but Apex is holding provisional pole position at the moment with 143.3.
Right. I'm really surprised. I really thought we'd see 42s.
Yeah, I was expecting that as well. And qualifying has ended with Apex, our championship leader, on pole position. Number 2 in the championship is Fixer Chris. And we get underway.
Now, the first chicane through here could be very, very interesting. These cars launch very evenly. It's very hard to get a jump unless you pick the light. So these guys are all going to be bunched up going through that first chicane.
Yeah, look, it's just flat out off the line. No fuel saving required, so rev the teats out of it. How about we jump on with Zoo, Hammy?
Yep.
And away we go. So everyone away pretty evenly. Fixer Chris may be a little bit slower, or maybe it's Ace Rio behind him that got a good start there. And they're 2x2 as we head through the first kink and into the first hard braking zone. No real massive changes yet, but if you're on the inside, you've got the advantage here. Fixer Chris says, no, I'm good on the outside, and holds it. Gets the jump on Apex through that first chicane. So Fixer Chris leading the way through the first chicane area there.
And that's right there is where we see the difference between the top level drivers in this league than a lot of the other drivers. You know, there would have been massive carnage through there, and there will be tonight in other lobbies. There will be massive carnage through there in the first lap. So these guys have definitely gotten through there clean. It's a great effort. It shows their skill.
Oh, 100%. And that was really, for me, when I joined the league only last season, that was the carrot, was got sick of the punt fest dailies, and you come in here and everyone is respectful, clean, hard racing. It's just exactly what you want. But Apex now having a look up the inside on Fixer Chris, breaks late and gets the job done. So Apex moves back into first. Ace Rio is in third behind Fixer Chris, and behind them is Adam V. So the typical three drivers in Apex, Chris and Adam, being split up by Ace Rio, the champion from another league who's joined us. So he could be well making his mark here in top split.
Yeah, no surprise to see Rio up the front there. And I mean, the top four guys are really the four of the elite drivers in our league. So it's no surprise to see those guys out there. But let's hope the Rusties train following behind them can push it up towards the front there for sure.
Well, in one corner, Apex Humper has gone from first to third. So Chris has got through him, so has Ace. He's having another crack now trying to get up the inside, but oh no, that door is shut. Ace Rio, wow, he's putting on a clinic here. He's now putting pressure on Fixer Chris to take the lead on this race.
Yeah, we've definitely got a new contender for the top spot here. So it's great to see new blood come through and be super competitive. We love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And they did have a bit of a gap over Ando, but he has now, with that battling, he's now clawed it in and is back in slipstream range. So this battle of four at the front is about to join the rest of the peloton again. And as we said at the start of the race, there's going to be very little difference between first and 13th in this race. Mind you, we only have 12 now with the absence of Pure Axel.
The Ando with clear air and someone to chase is a scary thought.
Yeah. Look, Ando is he'll be really good in the third race. The way he looks after his tyres and his fuel is second to none. So clearly he's got pace in the sprint races. He's sitting there in fifth at the moment behind the four of the best in the world.
He's had a bit of a moment out of the death chicane there.
Yeah, he has. He's dropped a lot of time now.
So hit the wall on exit.
1.5 seconds, but is holding on to that fifth place, sorry, as he comes under pressure from Zoo. But starting the third lap now, Fixer Chris is now leading. Ace Rio putting pressure on him to go up the inside here, trying to break late, but no, can't get the job done. Fixer Chris shuts the door, and Apex and Adam sitting back watching this. Adam is known for sitting back and watching the action.
That's definitely Adam's style. He likes to put pressure on people, and he likes to wait for a mistake. That's one of the things he likes to do. But make no mistake,
the Iceman cometh.
Yeah, if he gets a chance, he'll stick it up the inside under brakes, and he definitely won't be shy about it.
Yeah, and look, Ace has just posted purple through that sector as well, so not battling as much this lap. Still battling, of course, not battling as much, so maybe this group of four can start to pull away and prevent a battle from the rest of the train that's following them at the moment.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. 3 wide. It was a nice
Apex,
thought.
Apex up the inside of Ace Rio. So
here we go, side by side through the death chicane. That's going to be fun.
Cooler heads will always prevail there, and Ace tucks it in. Smart move.
Yes. Oh, a bit of a touch there on the wall from Chris, and I think from Adam. But not too bad. And Ando's starting to break away from Zoo there again in 5th place.
Yeah, well, he's brought in 3/10 on that lap to Adam, Ando has, and another 3/10 on that corner alone. Yeah. So he is right in the slipstream again now.
It's one of Ando's real strengths as a driver. He is great at maintaining quarter speed. He has a real knack for trail braking and a real great sense of speed through corners. So it's definitely one of his strengths.
Yeah, and if the way he drives, his gear selection is 9 times out of 10 a gear higher than everyone else. So maybe that's the trick there.
Yeah, and it blows my mind when he tries to do coaching with us in Rusties, and he says, go through there in fourth, and I'm like, no, I can't. And he's like, yes, you can. So, here, let me show you.
And as we say that, Ando making a move and has got 4th place off Ace Rio. He'll be looking to consolidate that now through the right-hander, and he does. So on the tail of Apex now. So Ando making moves as these laps tick down.
Yeah, and as you said earlier, his tyre preservation is really going to mean he's going to come on really strong at the end of this 9-lap race. He's going to have considerably better tyre wear than most of the other guys around him. So.
Yeah, well, we're almost halfway through the race now, and there's been very little tyre use, so I don't think tyre use is going to be an issue, but we're now Fixer Chris with a 1 second lead. He's out of the slipstream, he's cleared Adam V, and has the opportunity now to put his head down and do some qualifying laps, and really put a stamp of authority on this race.
Oh, Mrs. Defco is in the chat, in the YouTube chat. She says, hello everybody. Hello Mrs. Defco.
Hello everyone.
Yeah,
Hello
that's
Mrs.
it.
Defco. So and where is Defco, by the way?
Ando just set the fastest lap of the race, so he is on a tear. So keep an eye on that green Rusty's car.
145, they're still not tearing it up. They're a fair way off their qualifying pace, but with a full tank of fuel, it's going to always affect you. But as we go back down through the rest of the field, because we have focused a lot on these front 4 or 5. So Ando in 4th, Ace Rio has now dropped down to 5th. Zoo following him in 6th, very close behind, and the G-Man in 7th. Go the Golden Mullet. Mr. Stefko in 8th. We have Scooter 82 in 9th. KZ in 10th, followed by Teaksy and Clocade bringing up the rear. Now, all of these drivers are within 6 seconds of each other, so it really is a train around this Croatian track.
Yeah, it is. It's a fairly difficult place to pass. I mean, there's lots of heavy braking zones. There's basically three hairpins on the track, but it's just so difficult to get a move done and maintain your speed. There's always the over/under. That's always a really critical thing you can do here in a lot of corners. You can let a guy get up the inside of you under brakes and let him overrun the corner and just get on the gas earlier and come back underneath him. So it's hard to get a move done and make it stick.
Yeah, it is. As we come towards the end of the 5th lap now, Fixer Chris only a half-second lead, so Adam V has pulled in half a second on Fixer Chris and is back within slip. He'll be looking to maybe make a move through the first chicane of the track here as we cross the finish line to start the 6th lap. But Fixer has Adam V has just posted the fastest lap.
Yeah, and it was very, very close to. Chris was not very far off that time either. So.
Yeah, well, he posted purple, and then half a second later, Adam did. So.
Yeah.
Certainly coming down to these two guys at the moment as Apex is over 2 seconds to the rear of them.
And Ando's harassing the back of Apex. I think Ando's hungry for a podium in this race, that's for sure.
And this has implications championship-wise too, because at the moment Fixer Chris is second in the championship, and not a lot too far behind Apex. He's only 10 points behind, so just this race alone could see him take lead in the championship, given that gap that exists.
Especially with a car in between them, that's gonna make a big difference.
So Apex will really be wanting to make up time in the next two races here. But there is a massive.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say there is a massive train behind Apex at the moment. with Ando looking to put pressure on him. He's in the slipstream, but he's got Ace Rio climbing all over the back of Ando as well. And those two have cleared out a little bit now from Zoo, who's leading the next train.
Yeah, I think it's important too, just for people who don't know, people who might be tuning in. The points work on overall lap time, so overall race time. Not necessarily where you finish in the race. So it is really important to be as close to your competitor as possible time-wise. So that's what makes the gap between Chris and Apex so critical at the moment. He's going to lose quite a lot of points to Chris in this race if he can't close the gap.
Yeah, you're spot on, and it's over 3 seconds now, so that'll be significant as far as points-wise go. Certainly more than 10 points, which is what the difference is at the moment. But as we go through the 7th lap, now will be a good opportunity to mention our first sponsor. So our new sponsor for the season, Brisbane Insurance Brokers, has been recognised as the best in commercial and industrial insurance. They can help with all manner of general insurance needs, including your personal insurance for your home and car. Find out more today at brisbaneinsurancebrokers.com.au.
Yeah, sponsors are important. Without them, this doesn't happen. So we've got to make sure we support our sponsors.
Absolutely, and as we get back to the action now, out in front, Adam V is the Iceman all-over fixer Chris again. So 2 laps to go once they finish this one. And what's your prediction here, mate? Is he going to just keep hounding him and hounding him, wait for a mistake, or is he going to make a move? What does he?
No,
what does the Iceman do?
I think Adam sticks in, tries to put pressure on Chris to make a mistake, and then take advantage. So Chris he's a hard guy to get past too. So he's gonna have to make it stick. So I think it's gonna be that, or he's gonna if Chris doesn't make a mistake, it's gonna be last corner.
Oh, bit of action going on back here. No, sorry. Ace Rio just trying to break the slip of Ando in 4th, as Ando's putting pressure on him to get that move now. And Apex has slipped away from them a bit, so he's got a little bit of a buffer there. But the action at the moment for 4th and 5th between Ace and Ando. Ando's just been pecking at these guys the whole race. Just can't quite seem to break into that top 4 yet.
Yeah, he's lost a little bit of time there to Rio as well. Rio seems to be pulling away a little bit in that sector.
Let's go on. G-Man are having a battle.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, G-Man having a crack with Stefko behind him as well as...
pulled out. Chris defends the inside. A touch. Yeah, nice driving from both guys there, but Chris, hard defence straight into the inside of that corner.
Stefko up the inside of Scooter here for 9th. KC up the inside, and looks as though he's going to get the job done. They're too wide coming into the bus stop. Who's going to yield?
No one.
No one yields. But Scooter gets the position.
That's some hard racing right there. Looks like Chris might have this one.
Yeah, he's got a 4/10 lead over Adam at the moment. It's certainly not comfortable as we come across the finish line to start our last lap. The Iceman will sit there and wait for that mistake.
Push him and push him and push him, and then Ando and Ace Rio are banging each other up as well.
I don't know about you, Viper's Fang, but I find it really hard to follow people and not punt them. When you're that close, it's very hard to get your braking right and not make contact with people. But Adam does a lap.
I was on board with Ando.
Yeah, can we get maybe we'll get a replay of that?
Yeah, I was on board with him. Yeah.
What happened there? I know Ace Rio's dropped way down.
Too wide, doesn't go. But yeah, there was some contact, side to side contact into the braking zone for that corner, and you know, two guys can't occupy the same piece of track. So
Oh, yep.
it's
I see.
it's always going to happen.
Well, as we come through the bus stop for the last time, it's still Chris and Adam V, nose to tail here, only 2 tenths between them.
Oh no,
Adam
Adam's,
V hits the wall on exit. That's handed the race to Chris now. So unless he makes a mistake on the last corner, it is all over.
It's way too far back to make a lunge down there.
Yep. Apex 3 seconds back in third, but
Ando's broken from Zoo.
so Fixer Chris crossing the line for the first win tonight, followed by Adam V, half a second back. Apex Humper at 2.3 seconds. Ando gets up for fourth. Then Zoo, the G-Man in sixth. Scooter, Stefco, Dale Teeks, Ace Rio dropping down to 10th after that incident. And then KZ.
Yeah, some late lap carnage there with in between Ando and Ace Rio. I think that might be destined for the steward's room.
Yeah, could be. So well done to Fixer Chris on that fantastic first win. A lot of action. And then while we set up for the next race, we might cut to an advertisement break, Hammy.
Yeah, we can go to next level racing. Here we go.
Yeah, thanks to Next Level. I know Viper, you run Next Level gear. I've got Next Level gear. Their equipment certainly is at the pinnacle of sim racing.
Yeah, the Next Level rig I've got the FGT. Awesome rig. It just does everything I need it to do. It's super comfortable. Can do hours and hours at a time of practice and just be super comfortable. So if anyone wants a rig, or if anyone's thinking about a rig, I highly recommend looking at the Next Level products. They're certainly up there, with some of the best.
And they've got some new gear out recently too, so definitely worth jumping on their website and having a look at that.
That FGT Elite looks spectacular. So,
yeah, it really does. When I first saw the ad for that, I was drooling a little bit, I must admit.
Yes, me too. I have the previous version to it, and that's good, and that one is just at another level. So, one of them might be making their way to the Vipers racing room at some point in the future.
Yeah. So we're about to gear up for race 2. It is a reverse grid, which will see Clocade starting in pole with KZ beside him. But on the second row, we have Ace Rio. So a bit of an incident with Ando on the last or second last lap. Pushed him right back. So, geez, if you're a betting man...
pushed him out into the sand, into the gravel track, and just lost all momentum. So, unfortunate. But that's sometimes that's just racing.
Yep, yeah, it happens. But if you're a betting man, that's where your money's going to be for the next 9 laps, surely.
I think it's going to be a hard job for those back guys to catch Rio with with him there. But having said that, if he gets caught up in a battle with some of those guys at the front, like those guys, Clocade and KZ and Dale, they're no slouch. So, they won't hand it to Rio on a platter. He'll have to work for it. So if he gets caught up,
Oh, absolutely. So,
It's, yeah.
you still have to put together 9 perfect laps.
Correct.
So over 9 laps, there was 13 seconds difference between first and 12th in that race. So that's really a 1 second gap on average between each driver. So over 9 laps here at Dragon Trail, look, it's really close racing.
Yeah, this track does seem to promote close, tight racing, which is what we love to see.
And as Adam V says, yeah, where's Pure Axel? Yep, we know Pure Axel's missing. Would have been an interesting race with Pure Axel. We know he loves to send it.
He does, and I think this track would have played right into his hands with super heavy braking zones in 3 corners on this track. It certainly would have. Let's just say it would have suited his style.
Yep, absolutely. So, race 2 is kicking off now, and yeah, look, I'm going to be putting my money on Ace Rio here. I know it's his first go in Split 1, but barring a couple of issues he had in that first race, he really showed that he's got the pace to be here. So, starting up front and with a bit of a gap to the fast guys, he's the one I'll be watching on.
Yeah, definitely. Getting past Cloquet and KZ, but is if he can clear them early and head off for the front, it's going to be hard to catch for sure.
Yeah, well, getting around Cloquet can be a difficult job at times.
Definitely.
So the lights are holding them and holding them and holding them at the moment, and away we go. So once again, a very even start in the Ferraris. Looks as though Scooter has made a little bit of ground on Teaksy, who's in front of him. And he has. They're going 3 wide through that first little bend. And as we come into the first heavy braking zone, KZ gets the lead. So KZ leading Cloquet and Ace Rio through that first section.
Yeah, super tight through there again, but everyone's through clean. Love to see that.
Ando's moved up to 7th. He's got past the G-Man.
Oh, he's had a big twitch there.
And
I'm
he's
not sure
had
what happened.
Yeah, I think he might have outbraked himself, to be honest, a little bit. You really have to be straight as you're braking into that corner, and he may have been a little bit less than straight. But Fixer Chris now looking to make him pay for that mistake.
Yeah, Fixer Chris and Axel, Pure Axel, Apex are, right there on his doorstep. And Adam V as well, so yeah, not the guys you really want to see in your rear vision mirror when you make a mistake, that's for sure.
No, not at all. But KZ leading them at the moment with Cloquet and Ace Rio behind him. They've got a little bit of a gap to Scooter, who's being hounded at the moment by Dale Teeks, and you would almost call Dale the Ferrari specialist, considering he ran last season in a Group 3. Group 2 Ferrari, and we're running this season in a Group 2 and a Group 3 Ferrari, so he's always going to be quick.
Yeah, he does have an affinity for the Italian stallion cars, so he
Ace Rio's taken the lead.
Oh, Ace Rio has, yes, he's taken the lead now. It's a drag race down the main straight with KZ.
It's going to come down to the braking zone into that first chicane. KZ's going to have the inside.
He will for the first one, and if Ace can hold it around the outside, he'll have it for the next one. And a little bit of a rub, Yeah, he's gone back to 3rd. Oh, and Cloquet out wide as well. So a little bit of action there. Ace Rio dropped it in a few more places as Scooter and Dale Teeks look to get past him, and also Stefko will be looking to make a move here as well.
Yeah, if you get stuck out on that dirty line out there with dirty tyres, it takes a couple of corners for your tyres to clean up, so you have to adjust your braking zone accordingly, and I think unfortunately that's just caught Rio out there.
Yeah, look, that's taken him from 1st back to 5th. That just getting a bit offline there. He may have been helped. He's dropped a lot of places there now, so he's in the clutches of Stefko. As
big dive from DJ there, right, Mr. Stefko, and a big drift on the exit. Are they going to go side by side? No. Stefko tucks back in.
So very clean through the bus stop for all drivers this lap. It's a single file now.
Oh, DJ,
No
big
contact.
hit.
Oh, Zoo
Big hit in the
gets
wall.
a bit out of shape. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Any damage? No damage. He's okay.
no, it was a square hit, but it was a hard hit. He would have lost a lot of time there.
Yeah, Apex is making a move up his inside now and gets the job done. So he's up into 8th, back into 9th.
Yeah, that train from Fix It Chris in 6th down to Zoo in 12th. Quarter of a second covers that from 6th to 12th. So
Yeah. Well, there's only 4 seconds between the whole field at the moment.
yeah,
And really, there are no big gaps anywhere. So it really is a train the whole way. KZ had got himself out to almost a second lead at the moment. So if he can put the head down and just start doing some qualifying laps, he could really put some space on Cloakade here at the moment, who's coming under fire from Scooter. So
well, let's
that battling
hope
will
we
help.
don't have some rusties on rusties action here. Let's keep it clean, fellas.
Yeah. Teaksy behind him, and Teaksy's in Dam Racing, if I'm correct, or Scooter
Yeah,
makes the move.
The Transformer cars.
So 2 Rusties, 1 Dam.
Yeah, and Apex also in the Dam Racing. We have Low and Slow there with Ace Rio. And Scuderia
Fixer-
Quadrifilio out in front.
And Fixer Chris now in 6th place, so
Yeah,
on
also
lap
in
3.
Scuderia Quadrifilio.
Yeah, and he is at the moment, what is he? 2.5 seconds clear of Apex, so running with a good gap over Apex again in this race. So really looking to stamp some authority and make a move to lead the championship this round is Fixer Chris.
Yeah, this is going to have team championship implications too. I mean, we've got KZ out the front, who's in Scuderia Quadrifilio, Chris in 6th, and we've got two of the Rusties boys in Scooter and Cloakade stuck in between them, and they're the top 2 teams on the ladder. So, it's going to make it interesting if Chris can get out in front of the 2 Rusties guys, and him and KZ can put a gap out. That's going to help close the gap, but secretly not hoping for that.
Yeah. Have we got the team's championship ladder we can bring up, Hammy?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Big
So
improvements from Scuderia Quadrifilio in the last few weeks. They've jumped up from, I think it was 5th up to 2nd.
Yeah, well, they're
so
what are they? About 70 points ahead of Dam Racing
Yes.
in 2nd place at the moment. Rusty's really being helped by that great recruitment of Scooter. Has helped them significantly this year, but they are clearly the team to beat. Dam Racing in 3rd. Flat Out Racing, who myself and Hammy are part of. We were last season, but putting together good performances this season, and in 4th. We've got V Corsa in 5th, not far behind as well. And then there's a bit of a gap back. So Serial Killers, who were the Sunday Casuals last year.
in the
changed
famous
their name.
Milo liveries.
The
from
Milo
last season.
liveries. 13R Autosport, just behind them in 7th, and Low and Slow, who are one of our new teams this year, bringing up the rear at the moment.
Yeah, I think they've had a few drivers miss quite a few rounds. I think that their score is not really representative of the level of that team. I think they've been a bit unfortunate with some recruitment, with some guys dropping out and some guys missing some rounds. So expect those guys to make a bit of an uptake in the second half of the season.
Well, while we've been discussing that, up the front, Ace Rio has climbed back into 2nd place. So he dropped down to 5th, and in a very short space of time, he's got himself back up into 2nd with Scooter right behind him.
Yeah, that's a massive effort.
I missed what happened there, but there must have been some action because that front group has really spread out now. So KZ's 1.5 seconds clear from Ace and Scooter, who are a second clear from Teaksy.
Yeah, we've definitely got Ace Rio is on a charge. He might have a bit of a red mist happening from the last couple of incidents. He might have just decided to throw caution to the wind and just put the boot into it.
Oh yeah, and him and Scooter very twitchy through the bus stop, but geez, they're holding a lot of pace through there as a result.
Yeah, that chicane that curb on the exit of the death chicane there can really throw you into the wall at a great rate of knots if you're not careful.
Yeah, you really need to float it through there just perfectly to get good pace every time. And as the laps wear down and the tyres wear down, it gets harder and harder to nail that perfect lap every time.
It's about who lifts the least.
Yeah. So Ace Rio's last lap was a 1:44.9, and KZ's was a 1:45.4. So
and that
half
gap
a second difference. Yeah, it's coming down at a rate of knots.
Rapidly, yes.
So if he can maintain that pace, he will be all over the back of KZ as we start the 8th or 9th lap, depending on what happens here. So we'll definitely see an action-packed finish, and if Scooter can hold on to him, well, and look who's behind Scooter.
Yeah, that's a scary sight to see in your rear vision mirror, that red Martini Ferrari of Fix-It Chris.
Yeah, look, we know that Fixer Chris is going to hunt him down. That gap will continue to shrink between Fixer Chris and Scooter 82. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But behind Fixer Chris at the moment is Dale Teeks. He'll be looking to run with him, and so will Cloakade. So Cloakade, starting off the front row of this race, has now dropped back to 6th. So he'll be looking to stick with Fixer Chris and Dale Teeks as much as he can. And then behind Cloakade we have that train, Ando, Apex and Adam.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Apex hasn't moved further up the field. I'm not sure if this track just doesn't appeal to him, or if he's missed out on some practice this week.
Well, he got pole position, so...
yeah, well, true.
He must have some pace.
Yeah, maybe the race pace is just not quite there tonight. So, but I'm surprised he hasn't moved further up the field.
But in 12th place and 20 seconds behind the lead, and has obviously had some issues, is DJ Stefko running a lonely race at the moment.
Mrs. Stefko not going to be super stoked about that.
No, you'll have the couch again.
Yeah. It must be a comfy couch.
He spends a lot of time on it, doesn't he?
Seems that way, yes.
So back up in the lead, Ace Rio is right under the wing of KZ at the moment, and will be looking to make a move this lap, I would think. So there's two really good opportunities this lap to make a move still, and I imagine he'll be looking to do that on one of those.
I think he's going to have a go right into the hairpin at the bottom of the hill here. KZ moves in to defend the inside. See if he can do the overcut.
Around the outside. He's going to hold it. He's going to hold it, yes, and KZ tucks in. Smart move. There's no point battling through this next section.
That is tyre wear. KZ's got considerably more tyre wear than Ace has.
Yeah, he does.
Passing around the outside of a corner like that, he's just got more mechanical grip and can, go around that faster.
Oh, and trying to have a crack up the inside, but
yeah, KZ won't die
wondering.
wondering.
And that red Martini car that we said would march on is marching and marching on. So it is now a drag race between him and Scooter down the front, down the main straight. He tucks in.
Don't let him pass.
I don't think anything could hold back the tidal wave that is Fixer Chris at the moment.
Yeah, no,
as he goes around the outside, yes, and the inside for the next one. So into third now, and 2 seconds off KZ. So 2 seconds, 2 laps. That is the gap.
Yeah, Chris can be a bit of a juggernaut when he gets the bit between his teeth. That's for sure.
Yeah, look, when he's on song and he's determined, he's unbeatable, this guy. So 2 seconds now to KZ as Ace Rio has a half-second gap over KZ now, and it is increasing. He could well be out of slipstream and clear through the next corner, which will give, he'll be able to put the head down now, and with 1 lap to go, you would think it's his.
Yeah, I think something drastic's going to have to happen for Rio to lose this one. But definitely second place on the podium still up for grabs with Chris closing in.
Yeah, absolutely. So down to 1.6 seconds now to KZ. And as we go through the rest of the field, so Fixer Chris in third, Scooter still right behind him in fourth, with Dale Teeks right behind him. So a train of 3. They'll all be looking to go with Chris in the last lap and maybe steal a third place somewhere,
and,
or a second.
Apex having a late run. He's made a couple of moves on Ando and Adam V10 in the last lap, so he's on the move forward.
Yeah, still 2 seconds to the rear of Fixer Chris, so that's the championship implication at the moment. But behind him is Adam V, which is a usual setup. Apex closely followed by the Iceman, waiting for a mistake.
Yes.
And Ando right under Adam's wing. And then a bit of a gap back to the G-Man and Zoo, who are battling it out for 9th. Cloakade running a lonely race by himself in 11th, and Stefko running a very lonely race in 12th.
I think he just doesn't want to finish because he knows that the couch is waiting, so he's just trying to delay the inevitable.
Yes, but back up in the lead now, Ace Rio, almost out to 2 seconds. Wow, he's really stamping his authority on this race as it's gone on. He's got clear track, and he said, "Nah, no one's going to get anywhere near me now. I'm not going to be punted. I've got clear track, and it's my race."
Yeah, it's showing his class, to get that bump off in that first chicane and drop back places and then just fight your way back through. Says a lot about what he can do in a race car.
Yeah, and showing why he's been a champion in another league as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So, as we come across the line to finish our race 2, we have Ace Rio almost, it'll be 2.5 seconds clear out in the front, followed by KZ with Fixer Chris in third, a great comeback. Scooter in fourth, Dale, followed by Apex, Adam, Ando, the G-Man, Ando and Adam coming across the line with 8/100ths separating them. G-Man, Zoo, Cloakade and Stefko, bit of a ways back, so bit of a drama for Stefko this race, but he's got there in the end.
Oh, looks like Stefko's grandma and mum are watching as well. Oh. And Mrs. Stefko in the chat says he has no choice. Harsh,
poor
harsh.
Stefko. Poor
She's a
Stefko.
harsh woman, Mrs. Stefko.
She is. Okay, so we'll give them a few minutes now to have a bit of a practice on their mediums, and then the third race, which is going to be 18 laps, will commence. So let's talk about the strategies here, Vipers Fang. I've done no practice whatsoever.
Do you want to go to driver profile?
Ah, sorry, yes, we have a driver profile that we want to look at first. So bring that up, Hammy. We've got unfortunately the one driver who missed out tonight, but Pure Axel, who's a member of Flat Out Racing and is currently third in the championship. He's a Kiwi, so kia ora to all of our Kiwi viewers tonight. Name is Axel. He's 21. He's a mechanic. Drives on a Thrustmaster T300 RS. His favourite tracks are Monaco and Brands Hatch. Favourite GT car being the Audi R8. And his dream car is the GTR R32, which for generally anyone of that age would have that at least in their top 3.
I remember when you could pick those up for a few grand, mate. Now they're like worth 60.
Yeah. And look, has been a very successful driver in wheel to wheel as well. First place in season 4 and season 5, and then was 4th in season 6 and 7th, and 3rd place in the last season. And it's also, of course, running 3rd in this season. So definitely one of the fastest, and I don't think anyone would disagree. When the red mist comes on with pure axle, he's like Fixer Chris. He's unbeatable when the head goes down.
Yeah, pure axle is. He's one of those guys. He will just spend a lot of time on a practice track with the ghost on, trying to find an advantage somewhere. I've had conversations with him in the past where he's like, yeah, these guys are just as fast as me now, so I've got to work hard to try and find an advantage. Like I got to try and work out where I can go faster. So he's very determined and very skilled. So when you put those two together, you end up with a guy who can potentially win championships.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a shame we didn't see Pure Axel here tonight, but we know he'll be back next week. He'll be in the Corvette next week. So. Very good car this round, so hopefully you'll make up for some lost points. But as we move on, we'll mention our other two sponsors for this evening. So Races. Races provides dedicated support for motorsport event operators from grassroots to professionals. Contact them through their website, races.world. And Future Studios. Born from the streets of Melbourne, Future Studios is the place to go to get all of your streetwear clothing needs. Their exciting new website will be launching in 2022, so keep an eye out for that, and we will let you know when it's live as well.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing that. It'll be good to see them get their new website up and running. That's for sure.
So this next race will have Stefco and Clocade on the front row. At the rear, we'll have Ace Rio and KZ. Right in the middle, we will have Apex, Adam, and Ando.
It's going to be...
Let's talk about the strategies, Viper. What do you think's going to play out here?
Well, I think there's a couple of choices here. You can split it a couple of different ways. You can... it's all going to be what tyre you start on. I mean, I've seen some practicing where guys are starting on mediums, doing about 6 to 7 laps. On mediums, or pushing it out to 8 and then jumping on the softs to finish off with lower fuel load. But if you're at the front of the grid, do you really want to start on the slower tyre, even though it's not that much slower? It's probably maybe a second a lap. Not even a second a lap.
Yeah. What I have noticed with the Ferrari is that the tyres last longer than the fuel.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
You really do need to rev the ring out of this, as G-Man said in his lap guide.
Yeah, absolutely.
To get the pace. If you're lucky enough to get in behind someone fast, you can save some fuel and get a few more laps on those soft tyres.
Yeah, you can definitely pick up a place in the pits too. Like if you can tuck in behind someone and short shift and save some fuel and lift and coast, you don't necessarily need to pass them on the track. You can pass them in the pit lane. So there's that avenue of it as well. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's certainly, in my experience, the strategy is one that evolves as the race goes on. It depends on how much fuel you've saved, what position you're in, certainly where you're starting. So it's when driving the Ferrari, having a set strategy before the race starts generally always changes anyway.
Yeah, I tend to work on, depending on the with the races, with these sprint formats where your starting position's determined by your finishing position in the previous race. It really pays to have a couple of different options up this sleeve. If you end up at the front, you have strategy A. But if you're at the back, you might want to decide to run a medium tyre and save a bit of fuel and try and pick up some time in the pits. So and then run qualifying laps at the end on softs to close the gap.
Well, we can guess all we want. We've got drivers doing doughies on the
Yeah.
tracks, and most of them are in the pits, so
I think they're
they're
I think
obviously
ready
happy to
go.
go.
I think
So
so.
let's fire up race number 3 and find out what strategies are actually employed by our top tier drivers. So I noticed there Apex is starting on mediums. So he
Yeah, I
was
think-
midfield.
I think it looks to me like there's about a half-half split. So
Well, we've got Stefco and Cloakade on the front row of the grid. I
And,
think we might. Who's
Mrs.
our
Stefco says-
first?
Stefco says pressure is on, Mrs. Stefco.
So front row guys are on softs, and our first medium runner is Ando in 5th place, and then it is all mediums back to Ace Rio in 12th. Ace Rio starting on softs at the rear of the grid, so he'll
Yeah,
be looking
so-
to make a charge.
Make some places early, and hold on at the end on those mediums.
So it'll be interesting to see what pace difference there is now between the softs and the mediums, and certainly driver ability will come into it as well if there's not a lot of pace difference.
Yeah, I think it's going to be who can clear the, if the soft guys can get out in front and create a gap, are they going to be able to create a big enough gap to hold off the guys coming on softs at the end? It's going to be interesting. And then if Ando, being the first runner on mediums, if he can stick with these guys at the front until the pit stop, he's going to have a massive advantage after the pit stop. So
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be interesting.
Absolutely. So already a little bit of a gap being created between the softs and the mediums, the haves and the have-nots. But, well, Ando brings it right in under brakes through that corner and maintaining that mid-corner speed that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, he's a master of that.
So Stefco looking to make amends for the last lap, though. He's
Oh.
half a second clear.
We've had our first death.
Yeah, I was on board
Oh.
with G-Man there.
G-Force gang has
Kiss the wall.
earned the first death certificate from
Oh, and he's
Seaside.
got damage too.
Yes.
He's in last.
Well, he's on soft tyres, G-Man, so hopefully once this damage clears, he can look to make up for it a little bit. But Ace Rio, who started on the softs, he's moved up one position so far.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have to clear those guys in front of him pretty quickly. Otherwise, the back half of the race is going to be pretty tough for him.
Yep.
But I mean, I know Ace Rio is a very, very good endurance driver, so he may feel more comfortable on the mediums than some of the other guys.
Well, yeah, and as you say that, it was the tyre wear that really did it for him towards the end of that last race, wasn't it, over KZ? He just had better
Yeah.
braking ability and cornering ability because of that he'd looked after those tyres so much better.
Drove around the outside of him in a heavy braking zone, which is really hard to do.
Yep. And look, his theory might be, look, I'm here behind. I've got Apex, I've got Adam, I've got Ando, I've got all these guys in front of me that are fast. If I can maximise my fuel usage, then I can get an extra couple of laps out of these softs and follow these guys around and still get good lap times.
Yeah, and that's a strategy too. If you can maximise your strategy with a bit of slipstream and a bit of fuel saving, then go a little bit deeper on your soft tyres and run lap times, and then not have to run the mediums as long. But
Yep.
we could also see Rio flip it, and he may stop early on the softs and run mediums to the end. So get some clear track on the mediums, and run some laps on the mediums just out in clear air, and hopefully do an undercut.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he seems to be. I've just been watching his gear changes, and some of them he's shifting early, and some he isn't. I think there's a concerted effort to save fuel there.
He's definitely the only guy I've seen pull 7th going down that main straight so far.
Yeah, yep. So definitely a driver to watch as we move, the race progresses. Ando up in 4th place now. So Ando, the first of our medium runners.
And a big gap to the first 3 runners too. So
yeah, so that soft and medium tyre certainly is showing its difference here. So Zoo is 2 seconds clear of Ando at the moment, and we are only in the 3rd lap. So yeah, we're looking at about maybe a second, maybe a bit over a second a lap.
Apex runs really wide there, nearly onto the sand. That would have been disastrous. But shows his class and holds on.
Yeah, look, and looks to make a move on Adam.
If that was me, I would have been spinning out of control down the whole straight into the wall.
And behind them, they're 2 wide. Chris and Dale Teague says no, they shuffle in to go through the bus stop. I thought we were going to see 2 wide through that chicane of death. Oh, G-Man! G-Man has come unstuck through the chicane of death again.
Oh, no.
That is unfortunate, and he's copped damage again as well.
He just decided he wanted to damage the other side. That's...
Yeah. Look, this is a horror run for the G-Man. He will be cursing himself. He does live stream his races too, so we jump on there. I'm sure you'll hear plenty of colourful language coming from the G-Man.
I hope he's got a 6-second delay and a bleep button, because he's going to need it.
So out in front, Stefko and Cloakade are running nose to tail. They don't seem to be battling. They're very happy to put down very fast laps at the moment on their softs.
It's a smart move for these guys to work together. I mean, they're in opposing teams, but you know, there's no point battling in a race like this. If you can make a gap, you can get out there and then make your pit stop, and then, you know, battle in the second half of the race for the win.
Yeah, and look, Cloakade really is in the ideal position here at the moment, because he will be saving fuel behind Stefko. He's in the slipstream, so he'll be looking to jump him in the pits. And if we look at there's very little difference in the fuel usage between them. So Cloakade's actually on a controller too, isn't he?
I believe I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember whether it was Cloakade or Scooter who was controller. One of them definitely is, but I can't remember which one.
Yeah, so I'm confident Cloakade is, so he will probably find saving fuel difficult, given that. But he does have more fuel than Stefko. It's not significant, but there is more fuel there. So he will jump him in the pits if positions stay as they are at the moment.
He might even be able to run a lap longer too. He might decide, you know, once DJ peels off to run a lap longer, you know, on those softs if he's saved tyre.
Yeah, well, that'll give him the double advantage there. So an extra lap on softs and a shorter fuel stop.
Yep.
But Zoo behind them actually is saving fuel really well, and his fuel is equivalent to Cloakade's. So the top 3 we could see change around a lot after the first fuel stop.
And the big winner in all of this in the fuel saving game, it seems to be Adam.
Well, that's not unusual.
Yeah, Adam, tyre and fuel significantly better than the car in front, which is Ando. But tyres are about the same, but yeah, fuel is definitely going to have an advantage through the pit stop.
Yeah, and Apex is a little bit less than Adam, but it's not significant, so certainly running well. And Ace Rio up to 7th now on those soft tyres.
Looks like he's given up his fuel saving strategy, because he's chewing fuel like it's back to 50 cents a litre.
Yeah, and look, that's what he needs to do. If you're starting on softs at the back of the pack, you absolutely need to run hard. Yeah, absolutely.
Just treat it like a 9-lap sprint race, and then hopefully you've got track position when you change and you can hold them off.
Yeah, look, I mean, you can save fuel if you're in slipstream, absolutely, and you should. But at the moment, he doesn't have any slipstream, so he needs to be pushing this thing hard. And he'll bring in that gap to Apex, who's running on mediums. So I would imagine over the next lap. Well, he's now in that slipstream now. Yep. And then following him, we have Teaksy on mediums, who is leading a group of 3.
And
Fixer
then-
Chris behind him on mediums, and Scooter also on mediums.
And Cloakade running fastest lap of the race in behind DJ's Slipstream.
And
know.
the G-Man has entered the pits. So he's our first pit stop for the night. He's entered with 75 litres left in the tank.
That's a
So-
very, very early pit stop.
Yeah, look, he would have
I don't know
gone...
I don't know if he won't be able to run to the end on that fuel.
It certainly wouldn't have-
G-Man's
it
on
wouldn't have been-
lap 4, mate. G-Man come in on lap 4.
Right. He's
Yeah.
sitting there. He's
Yeah.
pulled the pin.
Yeah, I think he has.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe the
Well, that's
suspension
unfortunate.
damage was too much and just couldn't drive it anymore. Who knows?
Well, G-Man, if you're watching, enjoy your... I know you'll be having a cigarette and a beer. Enjoy your cigarette and beer, mate, and we'll see you next round. But out in the lead, we still have Stefko leading the charge at the moment, followed by Cloakade, who's sitting behind him. Yeah, not a lot of fuel difference between those two, so Cloakade not making the most of being able to follow around. But there is a tyre difference, and the tyre advantage at the moment goes to Stefko.
Yeah, that's controller wear.
Yep.
You know, the DJ being on a wheel, Cloakade being on controller, that's... But the big battle is 10th, 11th and 12th. Oh, sorry, 9th, 10th and... No,
Well,
10th
they're
and
all in the
11th.
pits now. They're
Yeah.
getting off their mediums. So it's all our medium runners now coming into the pits. And who's got the most? Fixer Chris with 63 litres. Adam V on 61. KZ on 58. So where will they come out? Adam V's leaving.
Chris is
Fixer
out.
Chris is right behind him. And then KZ. So they've all come out pretty close together, those guys.
And they've all just about... Oh, well, Adam's short-filled. So he may have to do some fuel saving.
Oh, he has too, by a significant margin. Wow.
Unless Chris is overfueled massively, that may be...
I can't
that
imagine
could
he
be
would have.
significant. No, I don't think
Yeah.
Chris would make a mistake like that. So I think Adam maybe have just gone for the jump in the pit stop and
Yep.
is
Yep.
is hoping to...
And he is short shifting. He's
Yeah.
fully aware of it. So yeah, he's definitely short shifting and looking to make that track position.
Because KZ and Chris are almost identical on fuel, and Adam is definitely short-filled there.
Yep.
So he's looking to make some time, some lap times with a little bit of finesse here, with some lifting and coasting and some short shifting.
Well, he does have just over 1 second gap on Fixer Chris at the moment. So if he can manage that gap well while managing his fuel saving, then look, it could work out well for him. Zoo has gone.
Zoo's dropped out.
Oh, that is unfortunate. He was in
is he
third
running?
place. He was in third.
Yeah, that must be an internet issue.
Yeah, that is
Wouldn't
unfortunate.
imagine he would have pulled
So-
the pin running at that in that.
No. So that gives third place now to Ace, who has got who is in front of, or has got all the way up to third.
And he's got
on those
Ando and Apex right on his back bumper. So
And I'm just looking at the fuel, the tyre usage there, guys. Ace on softs and Ando and Apex on mediums. There's very little tyre wear difference between them.
yeah, this Ace Rio, his endurance racing background, I think, is going to make him very strong in these longer races.
Yeah,
And-
you called it at the start of the race that he was an endurance race specialist, and
Yeah, we saw
he's-
that in the last round of last year at last season at
Yep.
Spa, where he just annihilated the field in that Super Enduro. So no surprise.
he would have been in the D League at that point.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Yep.
It was actually with. Who was he fighting with at the time? I can't remember.
Well, he's certainly clearing
Yeah.
out from Ando at the moment, so He's
Yeah,
just
he
about
has to
broken the
make
slipstream there.
he has to make a gap here, because if he doesn't make the gap, he's going to get swallowed up by Ando and Apex on those softs, and Ando and
they're
Apex
coming in.
peel in. Yep.
They're pitting in, yep.
Yep.
So where will they come out in comparison to Fix It Chris? So they come in, Apex with considerably more fuel in the tank, 46
that
litres left.
They'll probably come out ahead of Fix It Chris still, because he's 28 seconds behind Ando, so the pit stop here I think's about 25, so it's going to be close.
Well, let's jump on with Chris, who has got past Adam in 7th place, and they're coming down the main straight now. So Fixer Chris leading Adam down the main straight. Tyres have been changed. They're fueled
And
up. They're on the track,
Apex,
and yes,
Apex
they are in
has-
front.
Apex has jumped Ando in the pits. So Apex is
Oh.
short-filled.
And they Fixer Chris and Adam do get Ando, but they don't get Apex.
Yeah,
so they're
that's the
right on the
short fill.
tail now.
Yeah.
And yeah, Apex has. Oh, he's got more fuel than Fixer Chris. He hasn't had to take on as much, so he'll be on cold tyres, and Chris's are warmed up. So Chris
He's
will be
definitely-
looking to make a move here, and he needs to get it done this lap, or it's going to be very difficult. Because once those tyres come up to temperature on Apex,
Yeah.
it's a battle you don't want to have.
No, not at all. But the one thing you do have to watch around here, and I've noticed in practice, is a few people have been caught out running out of fuel, because the lap counter on the fuel fill is not completely accurate. You need about 1.2 to 1.3 laps worth of fuel here when you cross the finish line for the last lap. So if these guys haven't calculated that out, we might have a couple of guys running on fumes towards the end.
Well, that's happened a few times this year, or this season. People have run out of fuel. Cloacade's in the pits now. He was in third. Is in third now. Cheeksy's in the pits. So Cloacade finishing his soft tyre run, and we'll be jumping on the mediums. Cheeksy's finishing his medium tyre run, and we'll be jumping on softs.
Yeah, so these guys are going to flip-flop now, and one will be on the slower tyre, one will be on the faster tyre, and we'll see where they kind of come out.
Yeah, and will Teaksy come out ahead of Apex? Oh,
No.
Where is he? No, he won't. So Apex certainly the provisional. Cloacade does come out ahead. So
Cloacade does, but Dale
he's
didn't.
on those mediums.
Yeah.
So, and Chris gets through. Chris gets through on Apex for 4th.
Yeah,
Dale
first
is-
and second in the championship there, nose to tail. So,
Dale is way back. He's in 10th. He's a long way back.
yeah, something must have happened there, because he was running higher than that, I thought, earlier in the race.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at his fuel. So he's right on 3/4 of a tank. Yeah, no, he hasn't taken on any extra fuel or anything, so...
Mrs. Stefko's cheering on. Go, Stefko. In the chat.
Yes. Well, Stefko's doing it very well at the moment out in front, making the most of these soft tyres. Still has 1/4 of a tank,
I think he's going to probably pull in this lap. Yep, there he goes.
he is, yep.
One more lap on those tyres and his lap time is going to fall through the floor.
Yeah, he'd pushed down into the 146s now. So
Yep.
that gives Ace Rio the lead, whose tyres are looking marginally better than Stefko's. Not considerable, but there is a difference there. So
Yeah.
certainly confident enough to go another lap on them.
I think he could probably do another 2 laps on those. He's got the fuel for it, and he's still doing 145s. So I think
he's-
Rio's going to be the guy to beat. I think.
He's got the fuel to do another 3 laps if he so chose. Certainly, his pace hasn't dropped off considerably. He's still doing mid 145s.
I think the tyres. I think maybe one more lap, and then he's going to drop into the 146s. So, but I think if he can stay in the 145s and do a lap after this one, he's going to be in the box seat for sure. Short fill, medium tyres, low fuel. He's going to be running as fast as the guys on heavier fuel on softs. So
Yeah, and look, Stefko has been in and out of the pits, and he's in 2nd place now, and 4 seconds clear of Cloacade. So he's got to finish the race on mediums, but there's only 8 laps. There's only 8 laps to go. So,
and Cloacade's on mediums behind him too, and under pressure on the soft runners are really hammering him now. So
well, he's holding them up, so he's doing a job for Stefko there.
yeah, definitely.
Because he doesn't have to give way. I mean, they're racing for position here just because they're on different tyres. But Apex looking to make the move here as we head into this hairpin, and will get it done.
That's gonna hang. That's gonna hang Cloacade out wide too, and he's gonna be under threat from everybody in that pack.
Chris and Adam battling behind him, and they're going too wide.
Side by side. Ando and Adam. Whew.
And all very clean in the end, but wow, there was almost carnage there.
Discretion, the better part of valor on that occasion.
I don't even know that it was that. They were going too wide.
And Chris up the inside of Cloacaide.
Yeah, Chris up the inside. So those soft tyres really showing their advantage under heavy braking here, and with 3 heavy braking zones.
Yeah.
That's really where you're making up the gap, or making up the time, I should say. So Apex now on the charge, and we'll be looking to bring down that gap to Stefko, which currently sits at 3.8 seconds and is dropping by a tenth constantly.
So looking at the gap between Rio and Apex, Rio stops now. He'll come out maybe 2 seconds in front of Apex, and pretty much level with DJ. I'm pretty sure. So. But Apex is catching DJ Stefko at a rate of knots, so...
Yeah, he's brought it down half a second already.
Yeah,
so
and he's just gone purple.
If you're talking a second a lap, I actually think it's more than that. It's probably close to 3/10 every time you go through one of these hard braking zones, and with there being 3 of them, talking somewhere around the 1.2 to 1.5. Oh, who was that?
Just like Adam, I just got the replay on board
jump
with
on
Adam.
Replay with... Yeah, Adam's dropped down all the way down to 10th.
Here we go, got the replay. Coming down the sweeping corners, and Cloacaide was on the inside, and they both went off, hit the wall.
Yeah, it looks like they were almost 3 wide through there by the looks of it.
Well, that is unfortunate. But out in front, Ace Rio's fuel is flashing, so this will definitely be his last lap. So 13 laps on the softs, significantly more than anyone else.
Yeah, that's a lot more than I've seen anyone do, even in practice. So, but and his lap time's still in the 45s. So
yep. So he's maintained a good lap time there. He's going to have to finish it on mediums. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out. So we'll monitor that when he goes into the pits, which will be at the end of this lap.
Looks like he's going to come out probably in front of Apex.
Well, Apex has brought down 2 seconds on Stefko. So those soft tyres are really working for Apex. He's hitting mid 144s now, and that fastest lap is certainly under pressure here. Fixer Chris right behind him, who's also finishing on softs, but Apex, because he went those extra couple of laps, he's going to have much better tyres towards the end of this race than Fixer Chris will.
Yeah, and Rio's going to have a really light fuel load on these mediums, so expect his lap times probably not to change too much from those 45s, and get probably, into the low 45s, as his fuel diminishes.
And here he goes into the pits with 1 litre left. He has really wrung this thing dry.
And we've got GJ coming through down to the last corner now. I think Ace is going to clear them significantly. Tyres are done, fuel's going in. And remembering he only has to fill for 5 laps.
Yep, and fuel's done. He's not. No. He's going to come out in 4th. So has a bit of space. He's got clear track at the moment, but all the guys in front of him are on.
And he's got Ando behind him on softs as well.
Yeah. So Stefko's the only one on mediums at the moment that's in the running for a podium.
And gaps to under a second.
Yeah. So Apex and Chris, I would say, working together at the moment to run down Stefko, because that gap
Yep.
is coming in significantly quick. It was 4 seconds, it's now
And then
7/10.
We might have a three lap battle at the end between the two, number 1 and number 2 in the championship. So you can't really ask for
absolutely.
more than that out of an endurance race, can you?
No, well, Chris certainly had the wood in the sprint races, but Apex has shown his class and said, well, I can't let you have everything.
Yeah.
Got to have something.
But this also comes down to the formula that the points are done on too with lap time. You know, as long as Chris can stay right on Apex's rear bumper, he's
Yep.
not going to lose points.
No, absolutely. So I think we'll see a change of the guard this round, and Chris will be our championship leader going into the next round, but I don't want to put the commentator's curse on him.
No, definitely not.
So Apex, will he look to make a move? He's probably a bit too far back. Yes,
I think
he
he's
is.
probably going
Tucks
to
it
wait.
in.
Yeah, wait to the braking zone into turn 1 or turn 2.
Well,
Not sure if
ideally,
they-
you want to get past Stefko as soon as possible, and then hope that Stefko holds up
holds
Chris.
up Chris. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and if he does it in that braking zone and Chris can't clear him at the same time, then Chris has got to try and clear DJ through that technical section and up through the S's, which is going to be way more difficult. Yeah, clears him
Yep.
before the turn in. Now, it's going to be much harder for Chris to pass DJ than it was for Apex, so...
Oh, and look, Chris is all over him. He's recognised what's happening here. He can't stay behind Stefko too. Oh, could he get a penalty there?
That's a 1 second
was-
penalty through there if
he
you cut
was-
it.
He was way over the line, but no, he's got away with it.
Yeah, that was a hair's breadth. So track limits is not something we've really spoken about here because it's not a significant issue, but if you do cut it, the penalties are harsh.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen any tonight.
No, you have to work pretty hard to get one around here, but if you do get one, it's significant.
Yep. So coming into another heavy braking zone, and Chris making the move, and yes, he does it. So, is there a switchback on? No, Stefko doesn't have the grip or the drive out of that corner to make it work. They tuck in. So Chris is still in the slipstream of Apex.
Zoo's in the chat. He's just said that sorry boys, my daughter logged onto my PlayStation 4 and logged onto my account. Profanity came shortly after. So a bit of a unfortunate incident there for Zoo.
Well, that's one Christmas present less next year, as far as I'd be concerned, for the daughter.
yeah. And Steph goes. Thanks, Zuzu. Zuzu's just said the commentary's doing a great job, so we appreciate the love. Thank you.
So Apex now clearing out 1.3 seconds, 1.1 now as we head through that first little chicane, and with 3 laps to go, 2.5 at this point. So this could be it's once Apex gets a gap on you, it's pretty much game over.
Yep.
So Fixer Chris will be looking to minimise the points loss and maximise any opportunity should Apex make a mistake.
It's using the maximum amount of track there. There's some dust kicked up on the entry to that chicane. And Mrs. Steph goes in the chat. The couch is ready as always.
And Zeus deleted the account on his PS4, so...
Yep.
I suppose you can't delete your daughter, so that's the next best option.
Well, I don't know, after an incident like that, you never... I don't know.
I often wondered when my kids were at about 10, is a 40th trimester abortion still legal?
Yeah, I think that late probably classed as murder. Just saying. Just saying.
So Stefko doing really well to hold on to Chris here. Stefko's running on the mediums, Chris on the softs. But of course Chris's softs are many laps old and they are worn.
And
Steph-
he's falling back into the clutches of DJ now as well, so
Yeah,
coming on
yeah,
those
so
pressure tyres. So
that,
maybe the couch may not be beckoning after all.
Well, yeah, look, you do get a better return on the soft tyres, but that return does diminish quicker.
Definitely.
And so with, 2 laps to go, Stefko could well be in the hunt for a second place here still. So
Yeah, I think
let's,
that's on the cards because Chris's tyres are looking very second-hand. You got about
Yeah, they
half,
are.
yeah, almost half wear on that left front. So
yeah.
and
So I don't know,
DJ's fresh as a
Mr.
daisy.
Stefko, if he can get up to second place here, and I don't know, that deserves a bit of love.
Yeah, that might be the first week he's been back in the bed for quite some time.
But Apex certainly putting his stamp on this as Chris and Stefko starting to battle now. He's out to nearly 2 seconds. Ace Rio, who's running on those mediums that are looking very pretty, in 3rd place. And closely followed by Ando.
And
who's,
Ando, the master of tyre wear again, who stopped on the same lap as Chris. Oh, and just
Oh,
as I say
it's
that,
on board with Ando.
shame.
Oh, that is
Sorry.
unfortunate.
I
That was a
apologise,
heavy hit.
Ando.
Yeah, and he's got damage there, so
Yeah, that's
That's
death number 2.
he'll be looking to hold on to 5th now. So
Yeah.
that's it for his chance at a podium.
Commentators cursed there on my teammate. I apologise profusely for that, Ando.
And following Ando is what was a significant margin is now 1.7 seconds to KZ.
Oh,
and,
no.
And Scooter, both on softs, but both very worn. Oh, Scooter, yeah, oh no, we're on the last lap. So I was going to say his fuel is flashing, but we're on the last lap. It's okay.
Yeah, no,
takes
you need a bit more than that to get around here. You need like at least almost a lap and a half's worth of fuel to get around here in the last lap. So
Yep.
Scooter, who did we see short, Phil? Adam.
Adam. Yeah, he's in 10th at the moment. He had an incident.
Yeah,
So he's
been
actually got more fuel than anyone.
and he must have been fuel saving very hard because I mean, look at his tyres
and
as well.
he's just posted the fastest lap.
Yeah, I wonder if he might have done a sneaky stop and changed tyres. I think he has because his tyres are brand new.
He has.
He's
Yeah,
going for
lap
fastest
14.
lap points.
Yeah,
So-
lap 14 was a 2:06.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's exactly what's happened there. The G-Man's back out on the track as well.
He might be doing the same thing. I know he's out on mediums, so
Yeah. So as we head into the bus stop for the final time, Apex leading. He will comfortably close this race off, you would think. Gets through there tidy. No problems. Fix it, Chris. And Stefko still nose to tail behind him, but Chris, you would think, does have a gap big enough to hold him off at the moment. Last chance for Stefko, and no, it's all over.
the
So
couch for him.
Apex will roll across as winner of race 3. Well done, Apex.
And DJ is going to snatch second.
Oh!
Yes,
Oh,
on
he
the
has!
line by
4
4,000.
1,000s! Wow!
There
what a
you go.
finish! That was amazing. And then Ace Rio in for 4th, Ando for 5th, followed by Scooter. Oh,
KZ ran out of
runs
fuel.
out, and Teaksy gets him on the line.
Yep.
So that was 18 tenths of a second. Cloakade will come across in 9th. Adam V will bring home 10th. And the G-Man back there, he's had a lonely race. Coming through the bus stop for the last time.
And
Oh, and he makes
Adam doing donuts on the straight.
So full of action again here in Split 1 at Dragon Trail. The strategies were very different amongst many different drivers, and really, as always, the cream rises to the top regardless of the strategies. Unfortunate for Adam, he had a bit of an issue there, so it would have been good to see him battle it out with the guys there at the end, but another fantastic Split 1 race.
Yeah, these guys are definitely top level. I mean, as a lower division driver, it fills my heart with dread and pain to realise that to get to where those guys are, I've got so much work to do. So, but it is great to see these guys drive so quickly and so consistently.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we've said before, the leaders of our Split 1 are amongst the fastest guys in the world. So anyone that's watching, if you want to get into sim racing, Wheel to Wheel is certainly where it's at. You can look us up on Facebook, you can look us up on YouTube, join our Discord channel and get everything underway. If you haven't done a lot of sim racing, then there is plenty of people in the league that will help you get up to speed. If you've done a lot, then here's a place to come to measure yourself against the best in the world. So thank you, Viper's Fang, for joining us in commentary tonight. It's been a fun evening.
My pleasure. It's always great to hang out with the guys, especially with the top split guys.
And thank you to Hammy for doing the visuals. That's never an easy job, and you always do it so well.
Yeah, thanks
great job.
guys. I can't do
Great
it
job,
without
Hammy.
you. Yeah.
Awesome.
And until next week, guys, keep the tyres straight and in between the lines.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week, and have a wonderful evening.